Hello everyone, my name is Holly Austin and I'm here to demo my project Property Blocks. Property Blocks is a fractionalized real estate investment both on Binance chain and Lisk Sepola testnet. For now, we believe to move it to the mainnet. It's a multi-chain app. Now, before I proceed in demoing the front end, which is still a work in progress, let's look at the smart contract. Now this is the real estate fractionalized.sol contract. Now in this contract we use a struct here to capture the property in question. So the struct pick the ID of the property, the address of owner of the person registering the property, the value at the point of registration, and the user had to put the amount of fractions you want the property to be divided. We had to think if we should allow the owner to decide, probably I want to divide this into 1,000 fractions to make it easy for people to actually purchase this of this fraction, or we want to hard code it to make it 100. I will find out that some properties could be very costly, and the owner who is actually registering could decide the number of fractions he or she wants. So that is why it is open-ended. So it's dynamic from the way we designed it. You have to decide a property of $1,000. You decide how many fractions you want it to be yourself. But we all know that the bigger the fraction, the easier it is for investors to purchase their fraction. So we also have the total fractions, the fractions sold, is it for sale, or the sales price if it's for sale, is it for rent, the rent price, the rentage until what day, the number of days for rentage, then the property URL where it is details are stored, and IPFS. So this is what we actually did on our own. This smart contract was hard coded from scratch. I bet you can see this contract anywhere online. It is hard coded, and while we use the ERC20 token actually here to actually as a security when you purchase a particular number of fractions. So we give you the BPT token. The BPT token starts as a security which you have in your own wallet to prove that I bought 20 of these fractions, or I bought 5 of these fractions. So each one BPT token signifies one fraction. So it is if you buy 5 fractions, you get 5 BPT tokens to signify that for this particular property ID, I have 5 fractions for it. So we created the ERC20 token. In exchange, we wanted to create an NFT, but we said no. NFT tokens will serve better. So we use so these are functions here. Okay, I omitted the event and the mappings, normal events, and only owner to restrict some functions to only the admin. So register property, this is where a property owner who wants to fractionalize his property for investors to come in can register. So we also have, and we have actually made some comments to actually help anyone understanding the project. So these are comments I wrote to help anyone understanding the project to actually understand what each function does. So the buy fraction is where you can buy a particular amount of fraction. So out of 1,000 fraction that the property is divided, you can decide to buy 50 of the fractions. So it collects the fund for 50 fractions and gives you a security token, our BPT token, in exchange into your wallet. And that is we have some various checks to be sure you have the amount to send, and you are not the owner, and all of those security checks, and we did that. So we have the sell fraction. You can sell at any time and put your own interest. Someone with a particular fraction might decide, I want to sell my own fraction, so you are permitted to sell also. And once you sell, your token is burnt while it is then minted. What you have on your wallet is burnt. The new owner now, the fraction is minted to the new owner. Then we have the rent property, which is another dimension I actually wanted to. A property could be there, can be invested on, but at the same time, instead of lying low, that property can also make much more money by rentage. So I decided to include the function rent property. So people can invest and buy various fractions of properties. That does not stop them, the property, from being put up on rent. Now, the way I designed the smart contract, when a property is rented, the rent fee is divided as a proceeds to all fraction owner or share owners of that property. If the property is by 1,000 fractions and currently 1,000 people own the property, it is divided per fraction. So if you can see in the code, you see per fraction multiplied by you can see owner fraction is the property fraction of the ID. So whatever you have, rent per fraction multiplied by the total number of fractions you have, it is sent to you. So those rent are additional investment gains that you can make just by being part of the property. So it is another point. So we went ahead to monetize the project by putting a listing price. You can just come into the application, you list, and you are charged a small amount for listing this price, so that it can be used for maintenance of the project and all of that. So the listing price can be also changed, and that we have done. Then for sale, and for fetch for rent. So this is where we kind of read and fetch data for those who rented, which we are going to use at the front end. Fetch my fraction. How many of fractions do I have from various properties? That is what we do. Not wasting much of your time on the smart contract, you can go through it. Then for the front end, having taken much time in doing the smart contract and testing it out vigorously, we actually started the front end using the Austin Graffity's template. So scaffold it too. So as you can see it here, it was built with scaffold it too. So you can see the benefit of fractionalized investing. So we also have the register, is where you register. The menu up, you connect your wallet. So the wrong wallet, because it is still in localhost, while my wallet is on Ethereum mainnet. So register is where you register. Buy is where you can buy fractions. This is where you can sell your fractions of the real estate. Then this is where you can rent. That is for now. In the near future, the integration is still ongoing. By the time of this video, I believe that before the judges weigh in, the front end integration should have been working to the glory of God. So we also in the future intend to put a pool. That is something, but it's like the time of the hackathon is very short. The whole idea that is walking through my brain. So how I can include a pool where people who already has property, who are investors with various property fractions, can use their property fractions as collateral to get money from the pool, and in fact return it with profit, being knowing that they already had something that is worthwhile, which is the property fraction that they owe. So based on the amount of property fractions you owe, you can decide the amount of loan you can get from this pool. That is another angle I've been looking at it, but let me finish this one Thank you, and see you. I believe that fractional ownership of real estate is the way to go. Thank you.